Hello.
Hello.
Just trying to get myself in the frame here. Although my phone won't turn around. So you've got me this way up. Let's see.
It's okay. Well, that won't work. Yeah, that works.
Oh, wait, it went. That works. Whatever
Now
that
you've got all of me.
Yeah. Hi, Judy.
Hello.
Good morning. Good to see you.
Good morning. Good to see you.
Judy, this is Carrie. Carrie, this is Judy.
Hi, Carrie.
Hi. Nice to meet you.
Nice to see you too.
Carrie's from the UK, so she's representing the international crowd because Hani's not here again today. She's entertaining Norwegian summer guests.
At least she's not sick.
exactly.
Sick. Last week she was sick. This week her son and daughter-in-law, who is pregnant, are coming to visit her.
So, fun.
That's fun.
Yeah, that gets priority.
Oh, yeah. I was like, have a blast. But she says it's unusually warm in Scandinavia, all of Scandinavia, like 86 degrees Fahrenheit. They don't even have air conditioner. They don't know what to do with themselves.
Yeah, that's what it is in the UK too. I was talking to Heather and she says, it's brutal and it's in the 90s, no air conditioning.
I remember a few years ago, there were people dying in France because it was a heat wave and,
They don't know. They don't know. Be like us having a super duper cold front, Judy. Like, I don't know if you lived in Florida back in the 80s, but we had snow. Just to I use that term very loosely. And then we had to have rolling blackouts. And it was crazy. It was crazy.
Now, I moved here 3 years ago from Virginia. I'm still trying to get used to this.
Oh, where'd Carrie go? We lost our speaker, but we got Anita. Hi, Anita. I wonder if that's Anita Naumoff.
Oh.
Let's see.
Carrie back. There's Connie Joe.
Wow.
There's Connie Joe. Hi, Connie Joe. Good morning. And here comes Carrie again. Welcome back, Carrie.
There you go.
This could be interesting. Everything froze and then it was just like, uh-oh.
Oh, that's all right. Anita, are you there? She still must be dialing in.
She's on her phone.
Yeah, she might just be
Sometimes
listening.
that takes a little longer.
And I know Marybeth's coming, so we'll wait for a second. And hi there. Hi, Anita. Oh. Hi, Anita. This is Jill. Nice to meet you.
Hello, Jill. Nice to meet you too.
Are you a friend of Carrie's?
I am, yes.
As soon as you spoke, I'm like, oh, I bet this is a friend of Carrie's. Nice to meet you.
I've only just figured out how to use Zoom, so it's just taken me 2 minutes to get a video and the audio working, but here I am.
You did a great job.
Hey.
Hi, Marybeth. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Let's see. Let me just do attendance in my head. Hold on. Who am I missing? Judy F. I don't know. Judy Fritz back in town. Debbie, do you know?
As far as I know, yes.
Let's see what else. Honey's on vacation. I guess that's it. Okay, we'll go ahead and get started. Welcome, everyone, to Virtual Networkers. So glad to see everyone here today. And thank you, Anita, for coming to cheer on her friend. We're a lively group, Anita. You'll love us. And we're so glad that you're here. And we are going to learn a lot today from Carrie. So we will go back to Carrie in just a moment. But before we do, let me explain how this meeting works. So if everyone could open the chat box and type in your first and last name, your email address. This is how we take attendance in Virtual Networkers. And when this meeting is over, what I do is I email you a link to the recording. I always record every meeting. So if you wanted to hear Carrie's presentation again, or if you want to hear what somebody was saying, you'll have the opportunity to do that. So if you could do that in the chat box, that would be fantastic. The first thing we start off with is our elevator speeches. This is your 30th. There's Judy Fritz. Hi, Judy. This is your opportunity to introduce yourself, where you live, and who you serve. So we'll kick off with that first, and I just call on you because otherwise, it's like, who is this? Where are you? So let me start with Carrie.
Hang on, I'm still typing. Oh, it's not easy on a phone. Oh no, I've done something else.
Carrie, we'll come back to the video while you get that sorted, okay?
Yeah, that'd be good.
All right, Connie Jo, you're up next.
Okay, I'm Connie Jo Miller. I'm of Enigma Bookkeeping Solutions, and I do bookkeeping and financial coaching. I make sure that your books are audit and tax ready, and then I help you to identify ways in your business to save money in your business so you can increase your bottom line. And I'm in the Atlanta, Georgia area.
Nice to see you, Connie Jo. All right, Carrie, now it's your turn again.
Aha, now I am ready for you. My name is Carrie Eakins from Treatment Unicorn, which is wearetreatmentunicorns.com. I mentor creatives and therapists so they can get really clear on what it is they love to do and who it is that they love to work with. And also so they get really bright and shiny about what their unique awesomeness is. I guess I'm a different kind of therapist mentor because I'm also a therapist and because I bring the physical very much into the mentoring work that I do.
Awesome. We're glad you're here. We're going to learn more about you and what you do in just a few minutes. Thank you for being here. Anita, representing the other UK. Anita, go ahead and introduce yourself.
Hello, I'm Anita Gilbert. I'm from Speakeasy Voice and Accent Coaching, and I am a voice and accent coach. So I work with actors and anybody who wants to communicate to help them get the best out of their speaking voice.
Yeah, and we know you're in the UK. What part of the UK are you in?
I'm in Sheffield.
Oh, so you're in Carrie. All right, awesome. Thanks for being here.
Okay.
Marybeth, you're next.
Morning, Marybeth Tucker. I'm from Alexandria, Virginia, and we're a little south of Washington, D.C. I am an intuitive animal communicator, and that means I have the ability to tune in to your animals and let you have a two-way conversation with them when things are driving you nuts or you're worried about them, even with end-of-life issues or behavioral issues. Thank you.
We're glad you're here, Marybeth.
Thank you.
Debbie Keevan.
Good morning, everyone. I'm Debbie Keevan of DeborahKeevan.com, and I help visionary entrepreneurs attract their ideal clients and fill their practices by tapping into and sharing their stories of healing and truth. And I'm located halfway between Baltimore, Maryland, and Washington, D.C. in the United States.
Yay! Yay! Welcome, welcome, welcome. Judy Cain.
Yes, hello. So I'm Judy Cain, and my business is called Aligned Consciousness, and I help people rewrite subconscious self-limiting beliefs using a process called Psych-K. People come to me for three general reasons: either the big emotions like trauma, grief, phobias, that type of thing, or goals they don't seem to be able to achieve even though they're working really hard at them, or physical symptoms of stress. And I'm in the Tampa Bay area in Florida.
We are glad you're here. Thank you, Judy. And our other lovely Judy, Judy Fritz, is here. She made it. Yay! And she's got her coffee. Good girl. Go ahead and do your introduction, Judy.
Hi, I am not a morning person, but so glad I'm here and you guys can help me wake up. I'm Judy Fritz, owner of VIP Services. We are a virtual assistant team. We help entrepreneurs get all their work off their plate so that they can stay in their genius zone, doing what they enjoy or what they should be doing. And I'm in Bel Air, Maryland, not far from Debbie Keevan.
Yay, we're representing that mid-Atlantic states here in the U.S. today. And I think I got everybody but me. Is it anybody? Did you miss anybody? So just me. So I'm Jill Celeste. I'm the chapter president for Virtual Networkers. And I'm also the founder of the Celestial Circle. I am a marketing coach. I help purpose-driven entrepreneurs learn about marketing, fall in love with marketing, and learn how to do everything authentically so that it feels very good to them. And you can learn more about the Celestial Circle at thecelestialcircle.com. So for anybody who came in late, please make sure to put your information in the chat box, name and email address, so we can get you the replay link. And now it's time to turn it to Carrie, and I have an official bio from Carrie that I'm going to read first. Let me get it here. It's on this monitor. Sorry, you got to see my profile. Carrie Eakins loves helping wellness professionals and creatives to find clarity on their unique awesomeness and grow their practices with foundations of love. She's also a specialist myofascial release practitioner based in Sheffield, England. When not geeking out on the wonders of the human body and mind, you can often find her cooking, reading, or stomping around in the UK's beautiful Peak District. And her web address is wearetreatmentunicorns.com. And I've known Carrie for many years, and I'm super excited about our presentation, Carrie. Carrie, are you just going to talk, or do you have slides?
I'm just going to talk, but if you would like to join in, that would be marvelous.
Okay. Well, the floor is yours, my dear. Go ahead.
It's kind of an interactive one, so hopefully the Wi-Fi link is going to hold out because it's a little bit glitchy. So what I want to talk to you is based around a quote by a trailblazing therapist. Her name is Ida Rolf. She was born in 1896 and she died in 1979. So during the 20s, she was a biochemist. She's Dr. Ida Rolf. She also studied yoga and tantra. And she was incredibly cool at coming up with really simple phrases that encompass big ideas. And one of my favorite quotes from her is where you think it is, it ain't. And I'll explain what that means in a moment. So in the 40s, she started to look at how the body was affected by gravity and then how we can work into the body to release tension and torsion and twisting. So as a fascial therapist, somebody who looks very much at the web of the body, that really excites me and interests me. So when you think about the body, one of the things I want you to bear in mind that it's like a web running through from the sole of your foot all the way up into your eyebrows, and all the way through dimensionally through the body. So it's what pulls you into a cohesive bundle, but it also means that if you are tight and restricted in one area, it can have implications up and down the chain. So let me give you an example, and then we're going to explain how this can be brought into your marketing. So if you think about an ankle injury, say you've tripped and torn a ligament in your ankle. So the way that you then bear weight through your ankle is going to affect how you position your knee. It's then going to affect how you rotate your hip to take the weight off that ankle. And as the ankle heals, you might forget to go back to your regular pattern of walking. So that hip twist is then going to cause the muscles in your back to work differently, which is going to set your shoulders at funny angles, which is then going to cause you neck pain. Now, you could go to a chiropractor or a therapist for years trying to sort out the neck pain, but it's not actually coming from your neck. It's coming from this torsioning and twisting through the body. And it's when you start to look at the initial cause, which was in this case an ankle strain, a ligament tear, that you start to resolve all of those issues up through the chain, which resolves the neck problem. So that's where this idea of where you think it is, it ain't comes from. So let's expand that then into the physicality of the body. So if we're thinking about the way that the fascia works, it's not just about causing restrictions and twists. It's also how the fascia is like a storehouse of memory. It stores those injuries, it stores traumas, it stores postural quirks, it stores emotional stuff that's been rattling around in the background. So if we think about, let's say, here's a great test. So if you can stand up, and I'm going to show you how the physical nature of your body is really intrinsically based in how you feel and how you think about your body. So mindset, see, I have all my note cards and now my notes gone, woo. Mindset is one of those key things of being in a business, isn't it? We are our businesses when we're individual entrepreneurs. So how we feel about our clients, how we feel about our marketing message, how we feel about ourselves really creates the success of our business. That's kind of one of those sort of ways of looking at business, rather than that kind of old school, you know, you just sell, you just market, you just do the work. But actually a lot of it is to do with the feeling. So if you think about how feeling affects your body, then you're going to be feeling into how comfortable your body is. So for me, success in my business comes from when I'm coming from a position of ease, when I'm coming from a position of comfort. If I'm spending a lot of time working hard on my business, and yet my body is kind of giving me discomfort and pain, then my focus is going to be on those niggles, you know, that shoulder thing you've got going on, or that neck pain we talked about, or that kind of back discomfort. It's going to be drawing me away from being able to really focus and concentrate on the work that I'm doing. It's also going to make me feel kind of, for some people, it's going to make them feel anxious. For other people, it can be depressed, but it's just going to rankle away. So let's have a feel of how negative and positive emotion, remembrances, memories can then affect your physical posture. So what I'd like you to do, if you have space, is to stand.
All right, ladies. Let's all stand.
I don't know if
each other's boobs and bellies.
So what I would like is for you to just raise one arm up in front of you as you're stood. Hello. And you're going to rotate so if you're holding your right hand, you're going to rotate around to the right. And what I want you to do as you're rotating is have a feel of how far you rotate. Feel into your body. Feel where you feel tight. And then when you've rotated, come back to the middle, and you're going to raise your opposite arm, and you're going to go the opposite direction. And I want you to go, kind of get a feeling of how far you turn. Does it feel easy? Does it feel hard? Can you feel any bits of your body going, oh, no, don't like this. Okay, and then when you've got a sense of how that feeling feels, that's your neutral. What I'd like for you to do now is to conjure up a really negative time in your life, a real kind of dark place, a real moment where you felt under pressure, as though things were like really not working for you. And I want you to kind of get that emotion, that sense of the recollection into your body. And you're going to use that feeling, that thought, and we're going to repeat the exercise, repeat the test. So just allow yourself to really go back to that old negativity. And we're going to do the same thing again. So raising an arm in front of you, I want you to come around to one side, keeping your feet fixed, and just see how far you can rotate. Also getting a sense in your body of how that feels. Okay? And then coming around with your other arm and rotating again, and getting a feeling of where you feel tight, whether your arm's going as far, whether your shoulder's going as far. Okay, so I can only see one of you at a time because I've not got you on the right view thingy because I'm using a phone today. So I'm going to assume that you've all had a test. This time what I'd like you to do is summon up a really positive, happy, joyful time in your life. So go into a memory where you feel really good, where you feel really, on top form, where you're happy, happy, happy. Okay, and then when you've got that thing, I can see Anita's like fully embracing that feeling. Oh yeah. What I'd like you to do is the same test. So you're going to bring an arm up and you're going to rotate one way, see how far you travel. See how that feels in your body. And then you're going to swap arms and rotate in the other direction. Alrighty. So, in your estimation, how did those three things differ? When you went from a neutral space to a negative space to a positive space, how did your brain take in that information? How did your body feel? Could you rotate further? Did it feel more comfortable? Or did you find yourself just having the same kind of rotation each time? Because for most people, when they're in a positive place, their body will feel more smooth. They will feel as though they've got a further reach around, and they'll feel as though they just kind of owned that movement a little bit better.
And that's definitely what the first two felt about even, but the happy thought, I was like, man, any stretching today. I was going all the way back.
Yeah. And so that's a really kind of cool thing, isn't it? That when we are in our happy places, our body feels really good. That our body allows us to have greater flexibility, greater range of movement. It allows us to deal better with discomfort and with, with that kind of low-level stress that we all kind of deal with. And I think stress as well is a really interesting place for us as sole business owners. So when we're marketing, when we're running our businesses, we can come into that kind of, for some of us, it's just a frisson of stress, isn't it? You know, we're like, we've got to market here, we've got to do that, we've got to create content, we've got that product, we've got to keep clients happy, we've got to do the actual work with the clients, we've got to make sure they're happy and they want to come back. And it can feel a little bit like being a hamster on a wheel, you know, you're like, there's this to do, this to do, this to do, this to do. Now, there's also good stress, isn't there, with being an entrepreneur, that you have that thrill of the new idea. And I think that when we come up with a new project, or when we find a way of serving our people a little bit better, it's really thrilling. It can lead into that place where you can then feel a little bit anxious about whether you are able to serve them, whether you have the wherewithal to complete the task, whether you kind of get that little bit of, I failed last time, I didn't deliver. And you can kind of start feeling your heart going a little bit faster. I always find that one of the best things for me to do when I go into that place of feeling, you know, that het, that kind of starting to ding ding, is to start to focus on my breath. And there's really good reason for this. So we have two states in our nervous system. This is a big simplification, but we have two states. We have the arousal state, and then we have a relaxed state. So the arousal state is about your sympathetic nervous system, and the relaxed state is your parasympathetic nervous system. Our brains haven't evolved as quickly as our society has. The things that we come across now, our brain cannot see the difference between that and a saber-toothed tiger. Now, this is down to a small part of the brain, around the brain stem, called the amygdala. And the amygdala controls our hormone releases when it comes to stress. It controls the release of adrenaline and cortisol and all these other chemicals that charge through our bodies, which get us ready to either fight a thing or run from a thing. But the problem is that the amygdala doesn't actually know that an email is just an email. A deadline is just a deadline. So it gets itself all het and ready to run. Now, if we were wild animals, we would be going through 3 stages of response to the thing that's coming at us, the saber-toothed tiger that's just emerged out of the trees. We would then either, in the second stage, run like a mad thing or fight the thing off. And then the third stage would be a point at which we start to calm. And you've seen it on wildlife films, you may even have seen it with your pets at home, that they shake off that energy. As modern sophisticated human beings, we forget about that third stage. So we kind of ping pong between stress, saber-toothed tiger, email, traffic, deadline, and response, do the email, do the work, fight off the saber-tooth tiger, pick up the child, go to do this, go to the shop, da, 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 da. But we never get ourselves back around to the bottom side of that circle where we just go and shake it all out. So that means that we escalate the amount of adrenaline and cortisol in our bodies. We never get to that point where we shake it off. So we never get to that point where our stress response starts to calm. Using your breath is one of the simplest ways of switching yourself between the arousal part of the nervous system and the relaxed part of the nervous system. And you can do it so simply. One, through diaphragmatic breathing, which is allowing the belly to fill with breath. Now, mostly we do diaphragmatic breathing when we're laid down, but I'm going to show you a technique today where we're going to do some work stood up, and we're going to flick the switches between our brain and our diaphragm. So the important thing about the diaphragm is that through it runs a nerve called the vagus nerve, and it's the vagus nerve which is in charge of arousal, relaxation, arousal, relaxation. So when you find yourself getting het, you can do a really, really simple thing, which is going to flip from arousal back to relaxation. So when you get the opportunity to lie down and breathe into your belly, it can be quite tricky if you haven't practiced it, mostly because we are so used to being on high alert that we don't know how to go into our belly. So if you get a chance at some point later today to just lie down, what I'd like you to think about is and allowing your belly to expand and bringing your back into the ground. So you're going to like inflate in a three-dimensional way, like you're becoming a barrel. This is the cool bit though, tripping the switches. And we can do that now. So if you want to come and play along with me, what you're going to do is you're going to grab your fingers and you're going to rub your sternum. So your sternum is your breastbone. So it's between the two sets of ribs. Yeah. And you're going to use a tacky amount of pressure. You don't have to rub or scrub really hard. But what you're going to find is as you rub all the way down to the bottom of your ribs, like past your bra and everything, to your xiphoid process, which is down here, and that's where the ribs come up to the middle of your chest, and you've got your diaphragm sitting underneath there. As you rub up and down your bony sternum, you're going to find places which feel really like, ooh, these are the places you need to rub. These are those little bits of connective tissue, little bits of fascia that I mentioned to begin with, that get your brain to recalibrate its conversation with your muscles, with your diaphragm in this case. Now what you find, as that's just happened with me, is that, yeah, and it's just happened to Anita, is that as you rub, you drop your breath in. So it's literally getting your brain to come out of the arousal state and back into the relaxation state. It's the simplest thing you can do for yourself when you start feeling, because just 30 seconds of rubbing there is going to allow your brain to go, ah, I remember this. Switch off arousal, switch on relaxation. So I feel that when we get ourselves into that hetness, we start to get a lack of focus and a lack of clarity when it comes to our marketing message. I feel that our response to our marketing can be quite a thing, especially when it's giving us a lot of stress. Part of what we have to do is to ask ourselves, when we're feeling stuck in our marketing message, is it because we're not resonating with that message, that it's not quite true to how we're feeling? Is it because it doesn't align us with the clients that we really want to work with, that message, although it's a good one, just isn't bringing that thing to the people that we want to be talking to? Or is it that within ourselves, within the tissues of our body, we start to feel stuck ourselves, that all of those old stored emotions and experiences, all those old injuries which add extra torsion on our system, are they all starting to just shout a little bit louder? And that actually is indicating to ourselves that there are self-limiting beliefs that we need to address for us to really be able to move forward with our marketing. And I think that when we are physically feeling sticky and icky, when we feel as though we've been sat a lot during the day at our desks, when we get our bodies tight so that they cause us pain and discomfort, that starts to impact on our confidence. It starts to impact on our clarity. And if we find ourselves in a prolonged state of stress where we're constantly responding to all those saber-toothed tigers that are trying to get us, it makes us quite tunnel visioned, which means that we can't see all the options and we can't feel into all the other things that we could be doing to bring ourselves closer to our clients. As well as breath work, movement then becomes really key in what we do. And this is something that I've shared in my group several times, where they see me making an absolute bizarreness of myself, because I will use movement to allow my mind to free up those creative thoughts, allow myself to like step into that extra nuance of detail that I need to be in to get really, really good, clear copy to be able to give my message in a better way to my clients. And I think that for many of us, we spend so much time sitting that we spend so much time compressing our bodies that we forget to feel into that full rotation, and we don't really get to explore in the way that we were doing with the negative and the positive emotion, that we don't actually use our bodies as barometers. And I think our body is a really good barometer. So if you're thinking about your marketing message, but you're also feeling that your body is tight, you've got to start asking yourself whether there is a connection. Now, I was doing some work with a mentoring client of mine a little while ago, and she's also been a therapist client of mine, and she was talking about how her low back kept kicking in, and she kept getting all this hip pain. And what we were talking about and what we were working on is this combination of three muscles which causes a thing called your lateral sling. And your lateral sling is about not being pushed over sideways. And as we were working on the physical elements within her, we were also talking about what was going on in her business and actually how she was having to set boundaries. So there was this really interesting moment where there was a realization of the physical, where she was able to be pushed over easily, was mimicking or was in some way playing into the fact that within her business, she was feeling like a pushover. And I think another place where we find, excuse me, another, which is exactly what I'm about to talk about. Another place where we find ourselves, getting all caught. This is a piece of oatcake. I was eating oatcakes before I came on, and I managed to get caught on a piece of oatcake. But where we have jaw tightness or where we have throat tightness, it's often an indication that we've been in a situation for some time that we are gripping. You know, we're either gripping because things feel out of kilter in our family lives, our home lives, in our businesses, that we're not allowing our voice to be able to express itself, and that we're feeling as though we're clenching on a piece of information. And there's a really, really nice, simple way you can release all of this fascia around your neck and throat. If you want to have a go, it's putting one hand low down on your chest. Low down on your upper chest. So you've got your fingers and your thumb below your clavicle, which are these bony bits here. Get rid of those cards. Can't do two things at once. And then using your second hand with a nice, soft, tacky touch, your second hand then comes up your throat. And again, it's not about gripping and it's not about grasping. but it's about using that hand really, really gently. So you want a tackiness as though you were picking a really ripe raspberry off a bush. So you're not trying to grab, you're just trying to gently connect. And what you're going to do is the lower hand is going to anchor, and the hand on your throat is going to gently come up the throat, all the way up. And so you eventually come around under here. And it's another really nice way of being able to open up all of this chest tissue. Because when you feel relaxed across your shoulders, you're then able to stay seated for longer, focus better, concentrate better, and be able to get back into that place of being able to ask yourself what it is that your clients really need from you, and how you can create ease and comfort not only within your body, but also within your message so that you meet the needs of those clients. So hopefully that all makes sense. I know that I've just hit you with an awful lot of bodywork stuff. I do believe though that when we are comfortable in our physical bodies, it does allow us to focus and concentrate better on the work that we do with our clients. And I think that sometimes the stuckness in our messaging comes from a place of us not, I want to say celebrating, not really treating our own person with as much care as we should, and really allowing ourselves to feel into the needs of our own body, and doing that before we try to connect to the needs of our clients. So, if your marketing isn't just about your message, and it's not just about how you feel about your message, then you have to also bear in mind that sometimes it's also how you feel about yourself. Using those simple techniques of breath work and opening up and seeing how you feel as you using your body as a barometer, I believe can really help how you put your message out into the world. And if anyone has any questions on all of that, I'd be happy to answer them.
Well, this is the first network meeting where I felt myself up. That was that was awesome.
Perfect.
So we open the floor up for some questions for the lovely Carrie. Go ahead and unmute yourself. Let's see who's got a question for you. Anybody? Marybeth always has a question. Marybeth, go ahead. No, nothing today?
Yeah, well, it's been also, I'm understanding that, but Carrie, I got to say, I really love the exercises because this one, since both of I just feel more open right now, right here. And I didn't do my yoga this morning because I was falling out of bed, just getting ready to have some clothes on. So any tricks to get us to stop during the day and assess? I mean, do you have any ideas for us? Because I know it's like you're preaching to the choir, but I'm sitting here a lot.
Yeah, and I think for a lot of us, we're sitting a lot, and it's about, when do you get up, Marybeth? What do you have to do? When do you have to get up from your desk?
When the cat calls me to play, when I have to walk the dogs, lunchtime, going to the bathroom, basic stuff.
Exactly. That's the cool thing, though, that there are basic moments in our day where we can bring in those simple things. It's basically to bring in movement. So it's about, we have a good friend in common in Charisse, and Charisse always has that amazing move where she gets you to visualize peeing in a circle in the snow. So it's about remembering to use your pelvis. It's about remembering to move your wrists if you're typing a lot. It's about allowing if you did the simple breath rub, it's using simple little things like that which just go and drop you back into your body. None of these techniques need to take longer than a minute. But if you every time you get up for a glass of water, just do a little breath rub or have a little wiggle around. And it's just being mindful that, you know, that there is very much a physical being there, even though you spend so much of your time connecting in with the energies of other and you know, the physicalness of dogs and cats and animals. You've also got to just go, oh yeah, not just in the morning you do your yoga, but like a minute here or a minute there. And I think that when you just get into the swing of it, you actually find that there's a lot of benefit to it. And as simple as that, you can do it in 30 seconds. You can do 5 minutes and it's just heaven. But it's just bringing in movement moments every now and again.
Okay, thank you. Yeah, that's really helpful. This is great.
Thanks, Marybeth.
Yeah, I love it. Who else has got a question? Go ahead, Debbie, or somebody raise their hand.
Carrie, that was amazing. I just have to say, I mean, truly amazing, because when we were doing the barometer test, like I had pretty good motion initially, but then when the negative, like I was so limited in how I could move. Do you have any, and so for me, I can completely relate to the sympathetic nervous system being on, you know, high volume. So are these two things that you taught us ways that we can actually increase the amount of time we spend in the parasympathetic nervous system and then like sort of decrease? And if so, you're fitting them into the day, what if I were to say 3 times a day or 4 times, like how often would you recommend practicing?
Whenever you can do it, do it. If you don't do it, don't beat yourself up on it. It's like, how do we find time for like momentary ritual? Because this is kind of a celebration of your physical self. You know, this is your own physical being. And I think that God, it's like, I don't want to say set a timer and do it every hour or something like that. But I think when you just catch yourself in that moment of maybe you just a little post-it note on your monitor which just says, you know, chest rub or have a wiggle around, or you know, that there's like really simple little ways. And because there will always be moments in your week, moments in your life where your stress levels will ping, where you elevate. And my brain is like, how can we find those momentary ritual, you know, like those little sacred spaces through the day? You ladies have really got me thinking about this. Like, how do we bring that sacredness in so that we know that we can drop into our breath? We know that we can drop back into our bodies. Because I think that the breath is just so important. And the other great thing about all of this chest work here is that you're also stimulating the lymphatic system. And when you stimulate the lymphatic system, you're clearing all that gunk out of your body. So you're really like using the chest rubbing and the throat work as a way of stimulating your entire system. How do we bring it in more? Yeah, answers on a postcard for that one. I think it's practice, isn't it? And it's also having that self-love that you know that bringing it in is in your highest interest. And you know that actually that self-care doesn't have to involve a 20-minute drive to go for a treatment. For, you know, it doesn't have to involve like a 2 or 3 hour window of your day. It can be a simple here or a minute there. Although having said that, when you find yourself a really great myofascial therapist, they are able to unlock the underlying restriction, the glitch, the gunk that keeps pinging you back into those learned responses, into those limiting beliefs. But there's also a lot of self-care that you can do for yourself, which when you are when you are present in the body, that you can really connect into meeting the old stuff and then setting it free. Now, my brain just got caught by 2 books. I completely, if anybody's interested in this kind of idea of how we somatize emotion or trauma. These two books, so this is The Body Keeps the Score by Bessel van der Kolk and Waking the Tiger, Lessons in Healing Trauma by Peter Levine. These two books are absolutely phenomenal. And it's just so interesting constantly to me, like how we can use our bodies to free up more of that old stuck stuff, which makes us freer and lighter and yeah. That was a long answer.
Thank you, though. I mean, I think very helpful. Very helpful. Amazing. Amazing.
I love book recommendations, Carrie. Yes, yes. Judy's giving you lots of applause here. Yay. So we're going to go into the announcement portion. If there are not any other questions for Carrie, everybody go? Well, Carrie, that was awesome presentation. I learned so much. And I think what I'll do, just if I could share my idea, is, before writing marketing copy or before maybe doing a webinar or something where you have to be on, I think doing those exercises before doing something like that might be good prevention.
Yeah, they're great prevention, and also just having a wiggle around and allowing your body to move in a way that it feels happy before you jump in a webinar. I mean, if anyone sees my warm-up before I do any of these kind of things, it's ridiculous. It's like, actually, people have seen my warm-up on these things on my group. Yes, feel into yourself before you give out from yourself.
That's a good point, because usually before a webinar, I do a prayer and I'm in the zone, but it's a real set of entry. It's like, and because I don't want to sweat, I guess that's probably because I live in Florida. It's like, okay, I'm sweating, we can't do that. But love the movement idea. That's awesome. So thank you, Carrie, so much for being here. Yay! Come back anytime. And if you love what Carrie is, I'm gonna go into my announcements. But if you love what Carrie has presented today, she's our guest expert next month in the Celestial Circle. And she's going to be doing a deeper dive into all these kind of physically things. I know some of you are in this Celestial Circle already with me, but she will be doing more instruction on this so that we can really unblock and feel good about ourselves. So thank you, Carrie, for doing that. Yay!
My pleasure.
So let's go into announcements. This is your opportunity to share something that you are promoting, something you need help with, a referral that you're looking for. Feel free to use the chat box to drop in links to anything that you have going on out there. And if you don't have anything, it's okay. It's optional. We do it for we lost the Brits. No, there's Carrie. We lost the other Brit. And you can take off on us, but it could be guests and members. So we are happy to have any kind of announcement. So we'll go ahead and get started. Debbie, do you mind doing an announcement?
Oh, sure. If anyone is interested in revisiting the Curse of Knowledge presentation, I'll be presenting that on Monday at noon to the Virtual Networkers West. I'm going to change it up a little bit so to be a little shorter, so I'm not talking like this, but please join us.
Are you still doing that?
I am, so don't give it away.
Do a different song though, right? That's all that matters.
Yeah.
Judy Cain, what you got?
Nothing particularly going on at the moment, but I'm always looking for coaches and anybody who sees clients that come in with chronic issues or seems to get stuck in certain places, because what I do is just the beliefs. I don't do the coaching. So you can shoot them over to me for an hour and I can shoot them back to you for all of the good knowledge and follow up and support that people need for changing things in their life.
Yes, thank you, Judy. And we do that lovingly, of course. We shoot them back. Yeah. Lovingly toss them aside. Marybeth, what announcements do you have today?
Well, I want to plant a seed. I'm getting 2 opportunities to help people learn how to connect intuitively with animals. I'm going to be in Virginia Beach helping my mentor, Joan Ranquette, who's actually been on, she's big. And if you wanted to get certified, or you know anybody who wants to be a certified animal communicator, they've been thinking about it, doing it in person with her would be super duper. Seeing somebody there. Then I'm doing my own version of that online the end of September, starting September 26th. Sorry, this is long, but it's online. It's over 7 weeks, and it's really focused on those people who says, no, I don't want to do that as a profession, but when I'm talking to my animals, what are they saying back? You know, like that kind of a conversation. So if you know anybody, you think about it, please send them my way. I'd love to talk to them more about that. Thank you.
Yes, love it, Marybeth. Very so talented. Carrie, what announcements do you have for us? Anything?
Me?
No. Yeah, you.
No.
Nothing?
Nothing. I think that just took all my brain power for the last couple of days.
She's tapped out. Maybe you should do this.
Yeah.
And by the way, I've already nicknamed this the Godfather.
Love it.
Yeah. Get your inner Marlon Brando going here. Connie Jo, what you got for us?
No announcements, but I love the presentation. I'm going to put this into my life. This is really good stuff.
Well, and Connie Jo, because you're in the celestial circle, you're going to get even more of it.
Yes.
She's so funny. Judy Fritz. And my other Judy.
Great job, by the way. And it was very timely. I had a doctor's appointment yesterday and started listing all the little things I was feeling. And he was like, all this stuff sounds like you're sitting too much. And if you just get up, then, I think you'll start feeling some relief in some of these areas. So it was very timely. Thank you very much. The week before, I was at the eWomen Network conference in Texas, which was amazing.
Good?
Really good. But she has, it's called a Sip, Tip, and Talk. And it's coming up Tuesday, July 24th. And I say she, the CEO, Sandra Yancey of eWomen Network. And it's a Sip, Tip, and Talk. I love them. They're free calls we can pop on. It's at 12 noon Eastern Standard Time. And she basically takes questions that either we have sent in, or like she'll probably start with at the conference, we all wrote questions on a card. So they're questions from entrepreneurs, just like all of us. And she'll just answer those questions. So it's just really fun and really good information and free. So if anybody wants to pop on, I can post that.
Yeah, if you don't mind putting in the chat. If you all don't know who Sandra Yancey is, she's an amazing entrepreneur, very inspirational, very heart-centered, just a really amazing woman. Her husband's pretty cool too.
Yeah.
Lot of one day I'll get to that eWomen Network. I was joking. I'm like, it's in Texas. And, oh my God, hot Texas. I live in hot Florida. One day I'll go, Judy, hang out with me.
Yeah, but you don't leave the hotel, so it doesn't matter.
Comfort of air conditioning the entire time. So yeah, if you don't want to put that link in, that'd be great, Judy. Thank you. And I did shove one more thing in there. I am having an upcoming webinar on Thursday evening at 6:30 p.m. Eastern. This isn't for people who work full-time and have a side business that they want to grow. Giving them specific strategies on how to grow their business, whether they want to leave their job or not. So if you know anyone who has this side hustle, so to speak, I put the bit.ly link so they can register for the free webinar. I will be making an offer for the Celestial Circle at the end, so there is an offer at the end, but there's going to be a lot of good information. I promise not to lead them down a path of time wasting, because I don't do that. So if you're interested in that link is in the chat box as well. And Marybeth put a link in there, Debbie put a link in there. So that's that. I have a quick question for everyone. So we are having, I'm going to mention this again, and Carrie, you're welcome to join us at this as well. The other virtual networkers group, which is run by Jennifer Flynn, I think, Carrie, you know who that is, meets on Mondays at noon, and they're having a huge open house and mixer on the week, so it's going to be August 6th. So it's, 2-3 weeks away at noon Eastern. So make sure you can come, and we're going to be prizes and, just a lot of fun. I'm the guest speaker. I have no idea what I'm going to talk about. I'll figure something out. So my question is, do you all still want to meet on the 10th? Or is that too much? Is it too much networking in 1 week? Or are we good for the 10th? It doesn't matter to me. I'm here, happy to do it either way. But if it's
I'm not going to be able to do the 6th anyway.
Okay.
So
We'll do the 10th then. Okay, cool. If you can't let's just do it this way. If you can't make both meetings, I'd rather be at the Monday meeting, just to give support to Jennifer. And if you can't make it on the 10th, no problem. So we'll just leave the meeting open, but it won't count against anything, or just whatever makes sense for you all. But again, that is August 6th, noon Eastern, about 90 minutes. And we'd love to have you there if you can join us. So there's that. And then next week, we are, and Carrie, come back if you like. Next week, we don't have a speaker. We are going to be doing Business Mastermind. We did that a few weeks ago. We did virtual coffee dates, which I'll bring back, I promise, because I know that everybody like that. But this one is Mastermind. Your assignment for that meeting is to bring your business, marketing, operations, writing, social media question. I'm going to see if Laura can come for the social media stuff. And if not, I can answer them as best I can. But bring your question. We've got two Judy. Well, Judy, will you be here next week? Judy Cain?
yeah, we're taking a break in July, so I will.
Awesome. Yay! Good. Well, I'm glad you won't miss it. So we have someone who helps with trauma, and Judy Fritz with the VAs, and all sorts of, we have lots of brain power in this group. I'll try to get Frank Deming to come as well for the SEO piece. So bring your big question. And what I do is whoever's here, I put a name in a hat, I pull the name out. That is your chance to ask the question. We go to about 8:50, so we try to get everybody in as much as possible. So bring your question. You don't need to send it in advance, just think of it. So that'll be next week. And I'll have, if you know anybody who would like to join us, please invite them, because it's a great way to just meet everybody. So any questions about that? That's the Business Mastermind meeting next Friday. So that'll be fun. So Carrie, you can come. I mean, really, we'd love to have you.
Oh, thank you.
So anything else for the good of the order? Nothing else? Go. We are so efficient. Look at this. Look at the time. I mean, some networking meetings run late, not virtual networkers. We finish on time. Yay! So I look forward to seeing everybody next Friday for Business Mastermind. Thank you again, Carrie, for your lovely presentation. Learned a lot. I'll be rubbing my neck all the time now. And my husband will be like, what are you doing? Sorry. A little inappropriate. Anyway, on that note, love you all.
Thank you, Carrie.
Bye. Thanks, Carrie. Good to see you.
Bye.
Bye.